Friends and family, I would like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for Black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today.
Yes, welcome back to the African Diaspora News channel. My name is Richard Sudan. Please like and subscribe and support the platform. Tell a friend to tell a friend and spread the word about independent Black media. Now, there's a fascinating story which I wanted to just give a quick breakdown on today, which I don't know if you saw this. I saw this last night just before I was sleeping and I couldn't quite believe it. I've had a bit of time to think about it since. So there's the G7 meeting happening in Britain, in Cornwall. A number of leaders are getting together to discuss the economy and all sorts of issues, etc. Now, President Joe Biden has met with Prime Minister Boris Johnson at this meeting, and I was just skimming through an article, just looking at the details of it, and I couldn't believe what I read. So apparently, the presidents and the prime ministers give each other gifts. There's the so-called special relationship between the UK and Britain, which to me is just kind of another way of saying WS moving on code. The special relationship is what it is. The same with all these other leaders. But they give each other gifts and there's a whole big sort of ceremony and photo opportunity, etc. And of course, Boris Johnson, he likes to shore up his popularity any way he can. So these leaders, they like to give each other gifts. And so I think Joe Biden gave Boris Johnson, I think it was a bike, an American style bike and a bike helmet. Lovely stuff. Gave him a gift. And Boris Johnson gave Joe Biden a gift. And I had to read this 3 times to make sure that I'd read it right. But apparently Boris Johnson gave Joe Biden a photo of Fredrick Douglass. Now, Fredrick Douglass is, of course, the great, very great abolitionist, writer and statesman, former slave turned formidable communicator, orator, just this sort of pioneering, towering figure of history. Boris Johnson's given Joe Biden a photo of Fredrick Douglass. Now, I had to try and sort of think about what's going on here. And the only conclusion I can sort of really come to is that this is some sort of sick, twisted inside joke. Because some of you may not know this, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson over here, Britain's very polite with its racism. Britain likes to put out a certain image like the US does of itself. There was a recent report which came out and they tried to say that, of course, Britain is no longer institutionally racist, which is just factually inaccurate and illogical fallacy. Anyone living here, most normal people would tell you it's nonsense. But Boris Johnson's literally on the record for, he's written in the past as a journalist, he's described Black people as pickaninnies with watermelon smiles. Boris Johnson has also written about having a fear of Black kids in gangs. Boris Johnson has also written that the problem with Africa is that Britain is no longer in charge. And there's probably some other anti-Black comments that Boris Johnson has made that I've missed. And not just anti-Black racism, Boris Johnson is known for making derogatory comments about the Muslim community, Muslim women. The list goes on and on and on. Boris Johnson is well known for his history of racist comments. And then we've got Joe Biden. Of course, there are a lot of people who try to frame Joe Biden as some sort of kind of anti-racist liberal, when the fact is, you can see Joe Biden's comments about his fear that if, I think it's education integration happens in the US, it will turn the US into a jungle or something along those lines. He pretty much used language that was basically the same as the super predator myth language that the Clintons, the racist super predator language that the Clintons used. Joe Biden has also said racist stuff about Haiti. He's done loads of stuff. I'm probably forgetting some stuff. Of course, he was the author of the 94 crime bill. What else has Joe Biden said? Oh, of course, he said in the run-up to the election, he said, "You're not black if you don't vote for me." That was President Joe Biden, who, of course, only got over the finish line, I'd argue, because he wasn't Donald Trump. And, of course, actually, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was in the press recently for, the press showed this kind of text exchange between Hunter Biden and his then lawyer at the time, using the N-word and just being really, really racist. And so, Boris Johnson giving Joe Biden a photo of Fredrick Douglass doesn't make no sense to me, unless it's some sort of sick and twisted inside joke. I was kind of shocked when I saw it. I mean, I'm used to Boris Johnson's racism, but it's almost like a kind of a symbolic gesture, a kind of sick inside joke. Are they having a kind of chuckle about it? What's Biden going to think when he receives this from Boris Johnson? What on earth possessed Boris Johnson to give him a photo of the great Fredrick Douglass? I mean, could it have been his advisors saying, "Look, Boris, the pressure's on you, the spotlight's on you, be seen to be doing something that, might show your anti-racist credentials"? I don't think so. Call me a cynic, but I think this was just a sort of in-house joke between the two. And a lot of people will sort of, especially over here, a lot of people will kind of acknowledge Boris Johnson's racist. But if you mention Joe Biden, a lot of people are just under the illusion he's some kind of libertarian, not least because he's chosen Kamala Harris as his vice president. But actually, I judge these people by their records and by their policies, and I think their policies and records are very clear. Something else I just remembered that I missed out on. Joe Biden is known for working with segregationists in the South to get certain reforms passed. And there's probably stuff you guys over there in the US, more than me. You can fill in the blanks. But Joe Biden hasn't used his bully pulpit how he could. If he was really serious about anti-racism, the Democrats have got control of both houses, I believe, in the US at the moment. He's pushed through, or helped push through, this kind of anti-Asian hate bill, done stuff for the LGBT community, done stuff for the environment, done stuff for basically everybody except black Americans, who arguably helped him get over the electoral finish line. Talk of reparations has basically disappeared. So a lot of people would view Boris Johnson as like very different from Joe Biden. A lot of people would say, Joe Biden's this nice guy. I think a lot of the time when politicians get a few more grey hairs and a few more silver hairs, somehow it gives them this credibility. Somehow they get this kind of cuddly grandfatherly appeal, and somehow everyone suddenly just distances his past views, comments and policies from the man he is today. But it doesn't fly for me. And I'm pretty sure Joe Biden hasn't really backtracked on the 94 crime bill, which he authored. Sent thousands of black people to prison for crimes they never should have been in prison for. Most of them still in prison. The list goes on and on. So yeah, I mean, this is the imagery of Boris Johnson giving Joe Biden a picture of Fredrick Douglass. Like, this is insulting. I can think of a lot more fitting photos that Boris Johnson should probably give Joe Biden if he's going to give him a photo. He should not give him a photo of Fredrick Douglass. Boris Johnson is not fit to even say the name of Fredrick Douglass, in my opinion, and neither is Joe Biden. 1,000 Boris Johnsons can't hold a candle to Fredrick Douglass. 10,000 Boris Johnsons have nothing on Fredrick Douglass. How dare they? How dare they? I'm still wrapping my head around it now as I'm speaking to you guys. But we know these people, this isn't just a gift that Boris Johnson's given to Joe Biden, is it? Boris Johnson hasn't popped down the shop to buy this photo. There's a whole team, a whole campaign, a whole office that's kind of come to this decision. And yeah, be interesting to see what the explanation is officially for that. I want to see what Joe Biden's reaction is. But yeah, in my view, you know, these sorts of people, these kinds of leaders, their lips are not fit enough to even grace the name of Fredrick Douglass. Boris Johnson is a notorious racist, or certainly he's notorious for racist comments. And he always has an excuse when he's pulled up on them. They're taken out of context. They were said a long time ago. And by the way, not just the racist comments. Boris Johnson was one of the key people that pushed through the whole Brexit project. And whatever anyone tells you, that project was racist, because there were legitimate views for leaving the EU, but it was apparently and abundantly obvious that the people leading the EU, the campaign to leave the EU, people like Nigel Farage, were racist. And the whole thing was predicated on false notions about immigration, etc., etc. So yeah, be interesting to see what else comes out of the meeting between Boris Johnson and Joe Biden next few days. But I just wanted to flag up this development to you. Let us know what you think in the comments about this. Let us know what you think. For now, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time and your attention as ever. Please support the African Diaspora News Channel website. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and spread the word. The more we talk about things and spread the word amongst ourselves, the algorithms, censorship, all the rest of it can't beat us. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Richard Sudan, and I'll see you next time.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stretch the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.